Hello, I'm Larry Tyler. I am a fellow in ACHE and former regent for the state of Georgia for ACHE. I am also chairman of the subcommittee for webinars, which is a part of the program committee. Our charge is twofold on the subcommittee for webinars. The first one is that we need to produce as many webinars as we can in order to provide educational opportunities for our members and also to help them accumulate as many CEUs as they can for recertification. Our second charge is to produce the leadership series, which has evolved into a webinar series. From the first time that we produced this series, we had quarterly meetings that were face-to-face and were headed by a lecture given by a senior executive, usually a system or hospital CEO. With the advent of COVID, that morphed into a webinar series that occurs usually once a month along the same line, and it's from an hour in length, and usually it's a CEO or a president of a hospital talking about something that is important to them and that they really have a passion for. So our subcommittee meets on every other Wednesday morning from 8 o'clock until about 8:30. We are an active subcommittee of the program committee, which is one of the most active committees that we have in ACHE. So when we look at a potential webinar, we look first of all at content to make sure that it's content that be relevant to our members and that it's not going to be commercial in nature, because we don't allow for people to come on in order to try to sell their wares. We also look to see whether there was a previous webinar that was around the same subject and whether we want to have the same content again, which we normally don't. We normally look for something that is more advantageous and not something that we have covered in the past. We also look at the format. We try to limit it to a number, only maybe a couple of people at the most, because we only have 1 hour, which is from 12 to 1, to do this, this webinar. And so therefore, if you have too many people, you just really can't do it. We also look at the quality of the presenters to make sure that we're getting people who are very high quality. And we also look for financial support to underwrite the webinar itself. So those are the criteria we use. We make our decisions as a group, and we are, like I said, very active. So anyone going on this committee would be expected to show up and participate, not only with their presence, but also with their ideas, and also to share in the work, which would involve contacting the potential webinar presenters and making sure that they're following through on their processes that they need in order to present a detailed and meaningful webinar for our members. So that's it. If you like the idea of being on a webinar subcommittee, then you first have to, number one, be a member of GAHE. And number two, make contact with either Bruce Lloyd, who is our executive director, or with Angela Henry, who is the program chair. And if you're selected to come onto the program committee, then you can call me and we'll talk about our expectations with regard to the webinar subcommittee. So I look forward to having you apply and come on board, because we got lots of energy and lots of work that needs to be done. Thank you for listening to this video.